Coming to paperback and e-readers, from the author of the critically acclaimed book The Man Crisis comes The Woman Crisis. Learn why so many women are becoming lost in their quest to have it all in The Woman Crisis. Pre-order your copy of The Woman Crisis on Amazon.com today. A Kansas City firefighter was sent to the Shadow Realm by a black woman looking to protect her boyfriend in an altercation. Now, in this incident, your 41-year-old Anthony Santi, an off duty Kansas City firefighter, was in a convenience store when he saw a black man, 23-year-old Javon Taylor, allegedly disrespect a female cashier inside of the store. And this was when your Anthony Santi decided to stand up for the cashier inside of the store, and as a result, your Javon Taylor allegedly wound up becoming agitated and stormed out of the store to retrieve a firearm from his vehicle. Now, police reports say that there was a fight between the two men inside of the store over the weapon, and somehow the weapon wound up falling out of their hands, and the girlfriend wound up picking up the firearm. And as the girlfriend wound up picking up the gun to protect her boyfriend, she saw that he was in danger of possibly losing his life and wound up shooting your Anthony Santi once and wound up killing him. Now, the prosecutor's office in Kansas City wanted to try to prosecute your Javon Taylor and his girlfriend for second-degree murder. However, they had no case because of Missouri's stand your ground laws. And as a result, the black woman is not being charged in the death of your Anthony Santi, and even though your Javon Taylor may possibly wind up getting charged as related to possession of the firearm. Now, the police see this as an isolated incident, but when I take a critical examination of this series of events, both of these men fit the pattern and profile for beta males that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis. And it's clear to me that your Anthony Santi is one of these beta males who wants to play the role of the White Knight, and because he wanted to go out here and play the role of the White Knight, what he did was escalate an incident into something that led to his own demise. Now, most people, when we see an agitated or emotional individual inside of a place like a convenience store, we just let them go on in their emotional rant, and then we just let them go on about their business. But white knights, they want to go out here and defend the honor of women out here in their efforts to so-called protect them, and they wind up escalating incidents into things that wind up becoming worse. Now, when your Anthony Santi went out here trying to play the White Knight with your Javon Taylor, who basically was one of these pookies, he wound up escalating an incident into something that led to him possibly winding up in a situation where he put his life in jeopardy, because he went out here playing the White Knight for this cashier, and this guy, possibly if he had just kept his mouth shut, would have just paid for his merchandise, left the store, been on about his business, and your Anthony Santi possibly could have been alive today. Unfortunately, he wanted to go out here and be the hero in this situation, and as he was trying to be the hero in this situation, he wound up escalating things and led to this man, who was already agitated, becoming more emotional. And as this man became more emotional, what he did was storm out of that store and look to get a firearm. And that's where we see the beta male inside of your Javon Taylor, because your Javon Taylor was not a critical thinker, No, he was a dude inside of his emotions because he wound up being confronted by another man who was a beta male. And once he got confronted by another man who was looking to challenge him, he saw that as a threat to him because in most cases with beta males, they only submit to female authority figures. And when it comes down to the beta male, when there are women present, that's when their competitive jealousy kicks in, and that's when they look to escalate things when they are challenged. And that's what led to this male going out here and looking to storm out of the store to go get his firearm because he wanted to show how much of a man he was going to be against this other man who was challenging him. And he was looking to go out here and show he was the bigger man. But sadly, both of these men showed how they were men in crisis. And these men in crisis, as one got a gun at the other one, this fight spilled out onto the street of the store, and somehow the gun wound up out of both men's hands, and it wound up in the hands of your Javon Taylor's girlfriend. And as it wound up in Javon Taylor's girlfriend's hands, she was the one who sadly had to protect Javon in this situation. And as she was looking to protect him from this white man, she had to wind up shooting this white man and taking his life. But there possibly could have been no lives lost had both of these men had the ability to do what most men know how to do, and that is navigate through your emotions. And a man who can know how to navigate through his emotions understands that yes, while you're feeling as related to seeing this heated argument going on, you know how to act in a way that preserves your health and safety. And I've been in stores where I've seen guys like this get agitated, guys like this get angry. And I remember working in the food emporium bagging groceries, and a guy was getting loud with his wife, and I wasn't looking to play the white knight. No, I let that man go on about his business because it didn't have anything to do with me. And I've worked again at these kind of jobs, and I understand that you just have to let it go in one ear and out the other. If that man is not putting hands on that woman, then you just let it go. And even if he is, you're going to go and call 911, not get actively involved. Because the whole thing is about these situations is you want to preserve your own health and safety, not go out here looking to put on that sterling silver armor. Because if you try to put on that sterling silver armor, in today's world, you may run into somebody who may look to put a cap in you. And that's sadly what happened here in the case of Anthony Santi. He went out here looking to be the white knight for some random female inside of a store, and this cashier possibly has heard far worse from men inside of these businesses. So she already knows how to handle these situations if she's been working there for some time. And that is, you just let it go in one ear and out the other as related to loud and argumentative customers like this. And you let them go on about their business after they pay for their merchandise because you don't want that smoke and you don't want to escalate things. You just want to be able to go out of this store at the end of the day alive and in one piece. That's how it runs in front end. But this guy, again, he didn't understand how it ran in front end like I do after working front end jobs in places like the Food Emporium back in the 90s and working customer service at places like the City College Science Library. I understand that when you're in these type of situations, you don't really escalate things. And yeah, the whole thing is you might get upset about it a little, but again, you let it go in one ear and out the other. But this guy, because he was a beta male, he was trying to be a hero in a situation where he didn't need to be the hero. And sadly, as he was trying to be this hero, what happened again was this guy got in his feelings. He got further more agitated. And this is when this ticking time bomb wound up exploding in rage. And he wound up biting off a lot and as a fight went on, and as this guy was fighting and beating up this black man, this black woman, again, had to go and protect this black man, and she did the right thing in protecting her boyfriend from being harmed by this white man. She had every right to defend her man and stand by her man, which shows that she had great character, but sadly, this Pookie didn't really have good character because he was out here looking to, again, he was just in his feelings and out of control. Now, he did have a right to defend himself as related to this man, but if he's in there, the whole thing is he escalated things when he brought that weapon out. But the whole thing is both men just would take things out of control. And again, this whole situation really shows what happens when boys are raised in a dysfunctional fashion and do not know how to conflict resolve. Now, the prosecutor's office is declining to prosecute the Sista in this case because they believe that she stood her ground, and under the terms of the Stand Your Ground law in Missouri, a person has a right to defend someone or defend themselves if they believe their lives were in danger. And from what was presented in the video of this incident that went on, clearly there was a reason for this woman to stand her ground and defend her man, and there was a reason for her to go out here and protect and defend her man from this white man who was looking to escalate this into a fight. And again, she had every right to shoot this man and protect her boyfriend. And she had every right to protect him because, again, this man was looking to participate in a violent altercation. But this whole altercation, again, just shows what happens when you have two men who are men in crisis and two men who do not know how to go out here and think critically. Yes, your Javon Taylor was upset and agitated, but the whole guy who instigated the incident was Anthony Santi. I mean, your Anthony Santi really should have just, again, kept his mouth shut and just went out here, paid for his merchandise, and kept it moving. This is one of the problems a lot of beta males have as related to business, especially that of black people. They want to get out here and try to be the ones who are going to try to tell a black person how to behave. And again, they're going to go out here and get in the face of this black man, and that's going to wind up getting you hurt out here on these streets. And this guy thought, oh, I'm going to fight him with hands, not understanding that you should have been backing up at the beginning and saying, look, okay, he's out here arguing with this cashier. I'm going to go to one of these back aisles, or I'm going to just get out of this store. Because again, I have been in these stores with these kind of situations, and your whole thing to do when you see a dude like this is to get out of that place before it starts getting hot. But this guy, he wound up making it hotter for himself. And again, some people are sitting there calling this guy a white supremacist, or and maybe he possibly could have been a racist or a white supremacist, because a lot of them, they have this superior attitude of thinking, oh, I'm going to go out here and be the hero. I'm going to go out here and be the protector. But no, this is what will get you hurt, because if it ain't your business and it ain't got nothing to do with you, you don't get in the middle of it. But again, there are kudos to this sister for acting the way she did, because she was in the right to protect her man, but sadly her man wasn't doing what a man is supposed to do, and that is protect his woman, and protect his woman by looking out for her. I mean, that's the whole thing that I got an issue with as related to this. I mean, on reading the reports, they're saying that he went out here to go get a firearm after arguing with this dude. But if you're out here, you know that if you've got an illegal firearm, the last thing you want to do is pull out a weapon and put yourself in a bad situation. So this guy really, in one part of the story, according to these reports, he wasn't really out here thinking critically. I mean, you got to think out here critically as to these situations, because if you're out here, you got to understand that people, they want to get into it with you, and you got to watch yourself out here. And this dude, he didn't watch himself out here based on reports. And again, he went out here and escalated a situation, and it led to his woman having to step in, and his woman stepped in and helped protect this man who is now a man in crisis, because now he's dealing with federal charges as related to the firearm. And this woman is going to be back out here, and if he doesn't marry this woman, there's going to be something wrong with him, because this lady was one of these sisters who was a ride or die chick, because to stand and protect your man like that is what ride or die chicks do. And this guy, he doesn't know how blessed he was to have a sister stand by him and look to protect him from this white man inside of this store. But the whole thing is, this whole situation was because this guy was not, both of these men weren't raised right, because both of these men were men in crisis, and these men in crisis, again, escalated a situation that in most cases, again, if dudes see a guy just yelling and getting emotional at a cashier, even the cashiers just say, okay, just go on about your business, pay for your stuff, we're just going to leave it right here. But again, men in crisis escalate things to the point where you wind up with a trip to the gas station turning into the death of one man, and one possibly leading to go to the federal penitentiary, where he's going to be dealing with Bubba and Tiny, who are going to be trading dude for Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, cups of coffee, Kit Kat candy bars, packets of Crystal Light. That is the fate that is going to possibly end with your Javon Taylor. And again, this is what happens when you have men who do not know how to problem solve and do not know how to just understand what the concept of walking away is. And again, as one man is in the shadow realm and the one is in the penitentiary, this sister is out here and possibly will just find herself another man, and that would be the best thing, because she's shown that she is a ride or die chick, and she deserves better than a man in crisis. Now, if you want to learn why men wind up participating in dysfunctional behavior like this, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also pick up The Man Crisis in Smashwords, the iBook store, and Google Play. And if you want to see me make more men's issues videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback, John Haynes at Death's Door. The man who rules the world takes on the Greek god of death in this action-packed John Haynes series adventure. Pick up your copy of John Haynes at Death's Door at Amazon.com and other online booksellers everywhere.